Hey, what's up, ladies? Welcome back to the Encourager Podcast. I'm your host, Kaelin Poulin. I just felt like saying that today. Today, I'm going to talk about how the grass isn't greener and talk about overcoming comparison, which is something, like comparison is the thief of joy. You've heard that before, and it was so true in my life. And I just feel other ladies, we struggle with this so much. Like we compare so much to other women, to other families, to other bodies, to other children, to other accomplishments all the time, to other appearances, to other looks all the time. And it's something that is literally just stealing from you. And it was stealing from me for a long time, especially in the social media age, the rising of social media in the past decade. And as much as we love Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, our feeds for inspiration and seeing people and learning cool hacks, I'm like obsessed with all the life hacks, kitchen hacks and stuff on Reels on Instagram. And as much as we love all that stuff and the entertainment and the connection, it also creates this breeding ground for feelings of inadequacy, comparison, envy, right? Proverbs 14:30 says, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Did you hear that? Envy rots the bones. It literally robs us of joy and keeps us in this state of dissatisfaction, right? Where we never measure up, where we're never good enough. And instead, we're called to cultivate a heart of contentment and peace. But it's hard in this social media age when every time you open your phone, there's something to compare yourself to, right? And so we see, and when we're scrolling, we literally see like the carefully curated moments of someone else's life. And we start to question our own, right? We start to compare their highlight reel to our behind the scenes. Let me say that again. We start to compare their highlight reel that's on social media to our behind the scenes. But let me just remind you, okay, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And I've always had a fascination with that phrase, the grass isn't always green on the other side. Really? Have you seen my lawn? There's a patch out back that's definitely more brown than green. We spent our last year trying to get this big yellow brown patch of grass to come back to life. But let's talk about how this fits into our modern world, especially when it comes to social media. So we're scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. And it's so easy to get caught in the trap of comparing our lives to the highlight reel of other people's and looking at them like their grass, it seems so green, where ours, where it's looks more like an evicted house. And who hasn't looked at a picture of their friends or walked into your friend's home and you see their immaculate living room and they have kids and you're like, my house don't look like this and I have kids too. Why does my house always look like it's been ransacked by miniature pirates? But their house is so clean. And then you're like, dang, they get it done. They keep their house clean. I don't do that. And you start to feel inadequate. Or you've seen the perfect family photos on Instagram. Right. And as soon as you see someone else's perfect family photo and they're giggling and laughing and then you have a flashback to the last time that you had family photos and it's your husband didn't even want to be there. He was like, I don't want to do this. And then your kids are screaming. All they want is snacks. They're crying. Your 2-year-old won't stay in the picture. They're fighting with one another. Oh, just me? Just me? This was just my experience of the pictures I just had done. Oh, okay. My bad. But we need a little reality check, okay? Because, oh my gosh, it's so funny. I'll see other people's perfect pictures, and I look at mine, and all I can think about is the behind the scenes of that photo. And I'm like, it looks like we're a happy family here. And in most of the pictures, Revlin, my favorite picture of us as a family, my 2-year-old, Revlin, is on Brandon's shoulders. And she's kicking me in the face with her boot. And it would have been the perfect picture, but she's literally pushing my face back with her boot. And obviously I couldn't use that picture. That's the one I wanted for the huge picture in my living room. But my kid is kicking me in the face with her boot in every single one of them. I'm still upset about it if you can't tell, right? So I just want to start by saying it's okay to admire other people's lives, for them to inspire you. But it becomes problematic when admiration turns into comparison, and then from comparison, it turns into envy. It's kind of like we're living in a modern day Ecclesiastes 4:4, where it says, "And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind." Let me highlight that for you. I saw that all toil and all achievement, everything that people were wanting to achieve, everything people were striving for, everything that people were trying to be was only coming from a place of envy of what another person had. I want to achieve so I can have what that person has. I want to get to this status because I want what she has. I want to lose weight because I want that body. I want to find a husband because I want that marriage. So I need to marry a man just like she married. All achievement spring from one person's envy of another. And toil happened, right? It's just like a wake up call. And we're practically running marathons after this wind that he's talking about, meaningless, a chasing after the wind. And we're practically running marathons after this wind, and we're getting nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So how do we tackle it, right? How do we stop seeing their grass in that their grass is greener, and just start focusing and watering our own, and not watering ours in competition to what theirs looks like, right? And not watering ours in comparison to what theirs looks like. I need to water mine because hers is green. And what is she thinking of my grass that has this brown spot? And everyone notices that I have this brown spot in my grass. It can't be watering of it for that. You guys see? It has to be watering of it, of appreciation of, this is the land that I have. This is what I've been given. And I'm going to water it, and I'm going to take care of it because it's my property, and I want it to be better, and I want it for me. I don't want it because I want other people to see that it's just as green. I don't want it so that I fit in with other people because they all have green grass and I got this brown spot, or they're all skinny and I'm overweight, or they all have this accomplishment or this award or this business or this job or this achievement or this amount of money or this car or this white Range Rover, right? We have to water our own and not water it out of comparison of what we want that someone else has that we're envious of or jealous of, but watering our own in terms of what God has for you, what his plan is for you. And so let's bring some wisdom in from good old Paul, right? In Philippians 4:11, Paul says, "I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances." He means whatever is going on in my yard, no matter if all my grass is dead and brown. I've learned to be content in whatever the circumstances, right? And he's not saying that we shouldn't strive for better. He's not saying we shouldn't get out there and water the grass and put some seed on it, right? He's suggesting that we should appreciate what we have now while we work for what we want. Y'all get that? You write that down. Appreciate what you have now while we work for what we want. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. Ooh, it's so good. It's about watering our own grass instead of yearning for someone else's, okay? So think about this. When you're looking at someone else's greener grass, remember, that grass might just look like that because it's heavily edited. It's got a filter on it. It's fake grass. It could be fake grass. They got turf out there. And you don't even know. And so here you are comparing your grass to their grass when it ain't even grass. It's fake grass. It's got a filter on it. They freaking got some spray paint out and painted that grass green. And here you are trying to make your grass look that green when their grass is not even real. It's not even real. It's not even real. And this is the life. This is the best analogy ever for what you see every time you freaking open up social media. So the next time you're scrolling on there and you're seeing someone, you better be thinking oh, I wish I had that. And you're like, hey, this could be spray painted grass. This could be spray painted grass, right? People on social media, they're not just filtering their face, ladies, okay? They ain't just filtering their face. They're putting a filter on their whole life. That's what social media is. It is a filter on their entire life. They are choosing what parts they want you to see, and that is the highlight reel. Now, there's some of us, okay? I would say this is me. There's some of us that I don't even like posting the highlights because it's not relatable. I like posting like, here's the crap I went through today, because I'm like, there needs to be more of this on social media. Like, here's what I'm dealing with my kids. Here's how, like, I'm dealing with body issues. Here's how I'm dealing with, my pregnancy. If you guys don't know, I just announced on my Instagram and Facebook. Go look me up. It's just at Kaelin Poulin. You can look Kaelin Poulin on Facebook too. But I just announced that I'm pregnant again. I'm pregnant with our third baby. Yay. I just took a blood test today, because you take a blood test at 6 weeks. I'm 6 weeks. And I just took the blood test, and so I'll know in a couple of days if it's a boy or a girl, for all of you guys asking. I don't know if you're watching me on video. You can take a guess, put in the comments. So you think, is it a boy or is it a girl? Is it a boy or is it a girl? But even as I start to go through pregnancy again, and like my body changes, it's easy to fall into that comparison trap, right? The grass can look greener. You know what I mean? It can look greener. We got to stop comparing. And people be putting a filter on their whole life. I want you to remember that. I want this to stick with you every time you open one of those apps that you hear me say. There is a filter on their whole life. Okay. That cute family picture I posted with my pregnancy announcement yesterday, like, you can 1000% guarantee, I'm telling you the truth, 1000%, I was losing my mind right before it and all during it, because my kids don't want to be there. Brandon really don't want to be there. He doesn't like photo shoots, that kind of stuff. He's just like, how quick can we get this done? And I'm like, here's all the shots that I want. Here's all the cute things. Here's all 3 locations I want to do. And it's no, we got 1 location. Like, they're mad. They're hungry. They're running off in different directions. Like, I'm in heels. I can't catch them. I'm sweating. My makeup is like now all shiny and sweaty because it's hot here in Austin. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So the chances are that if all that was happening behind the scenes, that picture I posted as my pregnancy announcement, like, you can bet your butt that is happening to everyone else too. But we don't see that. We just see the filtered version, looking at it and being like, oh, look at this cute family picture they got. I want to do this picture. And then when you go to do it, it's all hell breaks loose. And you're like, dang, why can't my family just be like their family? Why can't this just be easier? Why can't they want to do this? Listen, they didn't want to do it, all right? They didn't want to do it either. And so even when I was like in the best shape of my life, and this is like a body one, it was the best shape of my life. And I'm posting all these pics of my abs. I got 8-pack of veins on my abs. I'm so lean. And a couple episodes ago, I told you I started gaining weight back after my fitness competition. And everyone like could say, looking at my picture, I want a body like that. I want to look like that. Maybe not like that insane, but I want to be lean. I want to be toned. I want to have muscle. I want to lose weight. I want to be skinny. I want to look like that. That's inspiration for me. I want that. And start feeling bad about their body. But they didn't see that I was struggling with an eating disorder again. People couldn't tell that through the ab picture I'm posting on Instagram. They couldn't tell I was stuck in comparison myself with social media and comparing myself to other girls with 6-packs and who is leaner. It's like it pushed me back into an eating disorder. When I started gaining weight, I started binging and purging again. Like, I started literally eating food and throwing it up so I could keep my leanness, because I was comparing myself so much with what the other fitness girls looked like. And so I just ended up unfollowing all those people. I just ended up unfollowing everything, because I felt like every time I was opening social media, every time I was opening Instagram, I was comparing myself to what someone else looked like. And it was hurting me, and it wasn't helping me any longer. It was no longer inspiration for me. It was strictly comparison and envy. And don't be afraid to do that. If you're opening up social media and certain things are making you feel that way, unfollow those accounts. And then if you want to go check in on them one day and look up their page and look at what they're up to, then do that. But if you're finding yourself comparing yourself to them all the time, unfollow them. Don't be putting yourself in that situation all the time until you feel like you're at a healthier space where you're not comparing, and then go follow them back. Because like now, like those girls that I was friends with and stuff, I've followed them back and I check in on them, and it's cool because I'm in the place where I'm not comparing my body to their body anymore, right? And so when you get stuck in this comparison trap, like, you lose all of the joy of life. And people put a filter on their relationships too. I remember one time I kept showing Brandon pictures of what this guy on Instagram was doing for his wife. Like, he was always like, she'd come home and there'd be like 10 bouquets of flowers, like all white flowers. And he'd surprise her with these trips. And he would go buy her a dress and come home and be like, we're going on date night, put this on, like all this kind of stuff. And I was envious of the gifts that she was posting and how he was always doing nice things for her and surprising her like that. I'm a gifter, so it's very important to me. And I wanted that. And I remember after I showed him one of those posts, maybe for the 10th time, I'm like showing it to him, like, oh, look, isn't this so cute? Do this for me, babe. If you could see me, you could see my twitchy eye right now. I'm like, do this for me, babe. Come on. That's why I'm showing it to you. Duh. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? Do this. And he's just looking at me like, okay, cool. Like, awesome. And I remember I showed him that and he said to me, like, why are you so obsessed with their relationship and what he's doing for her? And I was like, my mouth would literally just open. No, I'm not obsessed with them. I'm just trying to show you, like, I want these things. That's what in my mind I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, like I am obsessed with the relationship and what he's doing for her. And then Brandon said, you have no idea what their relationship is actually like. He said, these could all be guilt gifts and you would never know. He could never spend time with her, or he could have messed up. Or they could be having bad fights on this awesome date night he bought her a dress for. They could be sitting there at the table, both texting on their phone the whole time, on social media, posting all the pictures of the food and what a great time they're having, and don't even have a real relationship with one another. Don't even conversate with one another. Don't communicate with one another. Don't actually have intimacy with one another. And I was just like, oh, like it literally took the wind out of me. I'm like, that's so true, because I'm just seeing the highlight reel. He said, if there's something you want me to start doing for you like this, tell me and I'll do it. But don't think the grass is greener when you're just seeing the highlight pictures. And this was such a revelation for me, you guys. This is where everything started, where I started seeing everything on social media differently. It's just, he's right. I'm looking at their relationship being like, I want our relationship to be like that. Babe, look at their relationship. Why aren't you doing this for me? And he's sitting here being like, but we have a real relationship. Like, we are best friends. We do everything together. We have so much fun together. We laugh together. We work together. We build together. We have amazing conversations together. And you don't know if they have any of that. So the thing that you're hoping for, because you're seeing this vanity stuff, not that they're posting in vanity. I just mean I'm looking at it through the lens of I want that in vanity and envy in comparison to our relationship. And he's like, and you have no idea if they even have a healthy relationship, right? And so, ladies, my point here is you got to stop using yourself, your life, your marriage, your children, your home, your body as a measuring stick against other people, because you will always come up short. There's always going to be someone that is prettier, that has more, that has achieved more, that looks like a better marriage, that has easier kids, that has a cleaner home, that has a better body, that makes more money. Like, you have to put the measuring stick down and just be able to say, good for her. Good for her. That's awesome that they do that. But you don't know if that is spray painted grass. So be careful what you're wishing for, because you can't see the whole story. You can't see the whole thing. You can only see the highlight. And so it's time for us to get real. It's time for us to stop chasing the wind, to start appreciating our own lawns, like our brown patches and all, like our brown patches, our dead grass and all. And you got to remember that social media is just a small filtered snapshot of someone's life. It's not the whole messy, beautiful, chaotic picture. And so the next time that you find yourself falling into the comparison trap, you need to remind yourself of Paul's words. Find joy in your own journey and don't be afraid to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Like, you just gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. You can appreciate things about other people. You can work for what you want, but you have to be content with what you have and work for what you want. All right? You can't just be out here spray painting your grass so it looks like your neighbor's spray painted grass. You don't want a life like that. You don't want a life like that. It's exhausting having to do that, having to live life that way, where everything you do is out of comparison of someone else, so you can catch up, so you can be enough, so you can keep up with the Joneses, right? Stop spray painting your grass. Just be you. Live your life. All the chaos, all the absurdity, all the crazy, like, and just accept it. Love your grass. Okay, I love even though we get into tiffs and we get into arguments sometimes, I love our marriage. I'm going to work for our marriage to be better. But I'm not sitting anymore and saying, I want their marriage. Why can't we be more like them? Why can't we have a relationship like them? Why can't you do stuff for me like he does for her? I'm not comparing the grass anymore, because I don't know if it's spray painted, if it's filtered, if it's fake grass. I don't know. But I know that in my relationship, I'm content. I love my husband. I love my children. Can I be a better parent? Yes. Am I comparing myself to other moms? No, I am not. Because as much as they want to say, this is how I discipline my kids, this is how I speak nice to my kids all the time, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm working for that. I'm trying to do that. But you know what? Sometimes the crazy gets loose. And so I'm constantly falling short on the measuring stick of what I'm seeing other moms do on social media. Then I can never be the best mom I'm going to be, or the best wife I'm going to be, because I'm always falling short on their measuring stick. And I hope you take this message into all your social media pages the next time that you open them, the next time you're around friends or at their homes, and you feel like I'm less than, or I'm comparing, or I'm not enough, or why can't I be more like her, or why can't my husband be more like him, or why can't my kids be more like theirs, or why can't my clothes or my body or my face, my hair, right? All these things. You got to let that go. Love on your grass, be content with your grass, and work on what you want. All right. So I'm going to pray us out. Before I do, please take 2 seconds. Just hit that 5-star review button for me. It helps me so much with the algorithm. You ladies don't even understand. You are amazing. I love the DMs that I'm getting from you about the podcast. Instead of sending me a DM, just leave it as a review on the podcast for me. I read every single one of them. I literally refresh it every single day, like seeing who left me encouragement on there. So thank you, ladies, for that. I appreciate that so much. It's like my ministry now. That's what God's telling me. Like, this is your ministry. And so I'm running on the fumes of your guys' encouragement to do this. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I got 2 kids. I'm pregnant. Like, I'm running on the fumes of your encouragement to get me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to record these things. And so I just appreciate every single one of you taking 2 seconds to do that. I love you, and thank you for it. Let's pray out and then we'll go. Thank you, King Jesus, so much for all these beautiful women. Thank you. Thank you for our grass. Thank you for our lives. Thank you for our bodies, our children, our marriages, our husbands, our homes, our personalities. We thank you for what that you've given us. We thank you for your plan for us. Take the lens off of our eyes of comparison and envy and jealousy. Lord, we just want what you have for us. So we want to be content in what we have and work on what we want with you alongside of us. So God, reveal to the plans that you have for us. Reveal to us how we can have more patience. Reveal to us how we can be better moms, better wives, better stewards, better friends, without comparing ourselves to every woman we come into contact with and every social media app that we open. Lord, we just pray that you remove that lens of comparison, that we're able to see ourselves as you have uniquely made us, that we are all different, we are all beautiful, and we are all perfect in your eyes, God. And we just thank you for that. We just release this spirit of comparison from our lives. We release the spirit of comparison off of us that can no longer hinder us from chasing after your calling for us, your plan for us, and your destiny for us, Lord. And so we thank you for that. We praise you for that in Jesus' name. Yay, ladies, that was a good one. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review. Tell me what you thought. Don't send me a DM. Leave me a review. I read every single one. I appreciate it so much. I love you, ladies, and I will see you next time.